On a warm summer day, Savannah, while on a dock, dropped her beloved handbag into the ocean. John, being a gentleman, dove into the water and saved it. This marked the beginning of a new love story. Within a couple of days, Savannah and John became inseparable. They both shared their lives with one another, especially John, who was enlisted in the army and was leaving in 2 days. Savannah had learned about John's past and about him being a rebellious teenager. She also learned of the relationship that John and his father possessed with each other when he was a little boy. They both shared a common interest for coins, collecting coins that were tampered with or torn up during the making of them. But also, she questioned whether or not John's father was diagnosed with Asperger's disease because of the Meatloaf Thursdays that occasionally happened. Savannah didn't want to forget about John, so every day they decided to write letters to one another while he was on leave for a year in the army. John longed for Savannah every day while he was fighting in Afghanistan. It showed throughout every letter he wrote to her. All he wanted was to return home safe and be able to be with her every day. But his opinion soon changed as John realized the world was not a safe place. On September 11th, the World Trade Center had been bombed. John realized that he needed to defend his own country, even if it meant being away from Savannah for a whole nother year. John was allowed to come home for 3 days before returning to Afghanistan. He needed to tell Savannah of his choice in re-enlisting in the army, which led to a fight between the two of them. But before he left again, she understood what he was really fighting for. While John was fighting in the war, Savannah began to have problems of her own. Tom, her dear friend, was diagnosed with a deadly cancer. She was comforting to him, but soon she felt obligated to be with him, not as a friend, but as a wife. Savannah's final letter to John explained her engagement to Tim. She was extremely sorry for her ever hurting him, but she still loved John and always would. That same day, John received news of his father being in the hospital. He was allowed to go home and see him. John was enraged with emotion. On his deathbed, John's father showed gratitude to his son for coming. He loved John in every way. Before he passed, he gave John his whole coin collection, which was worth a large sum of money. John knew how much coins meant to his father and accepted the coins with all the love in the world. John knew he had to see Savannah to ask for an explanation on her engagement. Savannah told John that Tim needed her in his life, and she couldn't help but feel bad. She told John that she still loved him, but that Tim needed her the most, since he was dying of cancer. John overcame his need for Savannah and became the bigger man. He did an anonymous donation to Tim by turning in his dad's coin collection.